from Bed and Biscuits Boarding and Training Facility. This is Livy. She's done really good, and what I've done is use this, any 6-foot leash will do, 5 or 6 foot, and I've used this prong collar. I don't know if you can see it, and it's really loose on her, but it's got little prongs and it helps. She doesn't like it, but my goal was to use it with her here, get her to where she's trained better by using it rather than not using it. And then when you get her home, if you have one of these, try to use it, but she really doesn't like it. So my goal was to have her so when you got her home you could use any collar, but she does take advantage. I've tried to use another collar and she takes advantage of that, pulls forward when you're healing and stuff like that, quite a bit more than this one. But if we keep using this, eventually we'll be able to go to any collar and she'll do really well. But what we've done is do about 4 or 5 different exercises here. We'll do the heel on leash, the sit stay, the down stay, and the recall. And through all these exercises, I'm using the same leash, same collar, and she'll be at your left side. Through all these exercises, she'll be at your left side. When we return, we'll come back to the heel on leash. Good. Okay, like I say, the dog's at your left side. I usually start out with her at a sit at your left side. You take your first step, you could tell her to heel, and she should walk on beside you. The main goal and the main thing to do when you're healing her is keep the leash loose, a little bit of a loop where it comes up to her collar. When you feel it get tight, you don't even have to be looking, just give a little pull and release. And that pull makes this collar work, and tell her to come back at your side. And then when you release, it's just a real quick pull and release. The release is her reward for coming back. So never keep pulling and pulling, pulling. It's a pull and release. Even if you got to do it 2 or 3 times or 4 times. Pull, release, pull, release, pull, release. And don't stop walking, just keep doing that. She should come back right to your side. When you stop walking, she should stop. I've tried to teach her to sit, but the grass is a little bit wet here, so she may not sit very good, but she should stop when you stop walking. And then when you start out, she'll start out as well. Ready, Liv? Okay, heel. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Let me heel. Good girl, baby. Good girl. Come on. Come on, good girl. That's a good girl. Exercise finished, and praise your dog. Good girl, Livy. Okay, this is going to be our recall. Again, the hand signal to sit is to bring your hand up like this. If she's looking at you, she knows what that means, but a lot of times she's looking straight forward or even down sometimes, but if she's looking at you, sees you, she knows what that means. So it's sit. Next hand signal is to stay. Put the palm of your hand in her face. Stay. Good girl. You walk out to the end of your leash, reinforcing the word stay. And then you turn and face her. The third hand signal, tell her to come and bring your hand to your chest. So it's sit, stay, and come. Okay, when she comes, again, if she sits in front of you, that's great, but we're just trying to get her to come, because off leash, she's another little animal off leash. She doesn't come very good. So we got to get all this really good on leash before we try to work off leash. Okay, Liv, you ready? Sit, good girl. Stay, stay, stay. Livy, come. Exercise finished, and praise your dog. Good girl. Okay, this is going to be your sit, stay. Again, the dog is at your left side. Hand signal to sit, good girl. And stay. You're just going to walk out to the end of your leash like you did the recall. And I wouldn't leave her any longer than 3 or 4 or 5 seconds at first. Then she's pretty good at it. I mean, little by little, when you get on the same page and you're doing real well together, you can leave her 30 seconds or a minute and even further distances. But right now, I'm still at my 6-foot leash, 3 or 4 or 5 seconds, and she does great. And then when you're done with your stay, you come back to the same exact position you are now. That way, she won't anticipate. I make her sit here and stay even after I get back here for a few seconds, so she doesn't anticipate and get up before you get back to her. Okay, sit, good girl. Stay. 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 You're just going to stand here and hold your leash for about 3 or 4 or 5 seconds. stay. And then return, reinforcing the word stay. 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 Exercise finished and praise your dog. Good girl, Livy. Okay, same thing with the down stay. She doesn't like to go down very well, especially when it's a little cool out here. I should have her little jacket on, but it's wet, so sometimes you have to help her front feet get her down. But once she's down, she stays pretty well. But you're just going to turn and face her like this. Always have her in a sit first. And what you should be able to do is point your finger. You're going to have to actually touch the ground with your finger. Kneel down beside her. Hey, no chewing grass. I'm not a cow. And put your finger right to the grass. She should lay down. If she doesn't, help her down. Don't just keep saying down, down, down a whole bunch of times. You're going to get breakfast when we get back in there. And help her down, but don't always give her opportunity 2 different times. Tell her twice to go down. If she doesn't, help her down. Ready, Liv? Now. Down. Bring it down. Stay. Stay. Down. Stay. Stay. And just like the sit stay, you reinforce the word down. Down. Stay. 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 Exercise finished and praise your dog. Good girl. Okay, Livy's done very good. She's a little cold this morning, but she's a good little girl. I know you were having a problem with her nipping and biting, and we can talk about that when you come to pick her up. When I feed her, I always make her stay back, try to get her to sit. And I hold one bowl, it's a stainless steel bowl, empty, and I hold it in front of her face, kind of like, and to keep her back. And as I put the other bowl back, or put the other bowl down, and just tell her to stay, then as I pick the other bowl out of her face, pull it out of her face, I tell her, okay, eat. And because if you reach down to her bowl, she's probably not going to like that. I've worked at it little by little, and she never has even growled or anything. She looks at me a little funny like she would like to. But like I told you before, the more you become the alpha doing these exercises and the training, the further and better you get with it, the less she's going to do that, because you're going to become the alpha. So that makes a big difference. That's why she hasn't tried anything with me, because she knows I'm the alpha. So she does really, really good with me. She's a good little girl. Usually they aren't the most obedient dogs, little French bulldogs, but she's done really well. I'm really happy with her. Later on, after you get on the same page with her, she does really well. Hopefully you can bring her back for the off lead. I'm not sure. Not every French bulldog is good for off lead, so we'll have to see. But she's been really good. I love her to death. Thank you.